Hello and welcome to Ecoholics. Today we are going to talk about the concept of production possibility curve, also called as the production possibility frontier, in the very important module of microeconomics. So let's begin the concept of PPC, something that you must have studied earlier but not must have studied in detail. So let's understand the concept of PPC. Let's first understand what is the meaning of PPC. What is PPC? The PPC or the production possibility curve shows three major things. The first thing is that the maximum attainable output combinations. Now, by definition, PPC is the curve which talks about the maximum combinations of two goods that can be produced with the existing resources in an economy in a certain time period. Okay, now this is the basic definition that you will find in every book, but something that we need to decipher, that we need to understand out of this definition is that we are talking about the maximum attainable, the maximum possible output combinations. Now here, this curve shows the concept of only two goods. Now, of course, you know that in any country, it's not that only two goods are going to be produced. They are going to be produced multiple goods and services. But this is a simplistic formulation to just understand the basic idea of how the two goods that are produced in an economy, in a very simple economy, what are the complications that exist while choosing those two goods, while producing those two goods, and how can the economy achieve growth while producing those two goods. So this is a traditional production possibility curve which talks about good X and good Y. And this curve, this concave shaped curve is the PPC, right? Now on these points, each and every point on this blue curve will showcase the combination of good X and good Y. For example, if we talk about this point, okay, and we drop this line down and we stretch till here. Now point A will have OX1 amount of good X and OY1 amount of good Y. This is the first combination that we have on point A. Now let's have another combination. Let's talk about here, somewhere down. Now here, let's say that you have something like this, okay? So you have X2 over here and Y2 over here. Now this is point B, where you have OX2 amount of good X with OY2 amount of good Y. Now what did we understand in this curve is that from point A to point B, we are still producing these two commodities in the economy. However, the combinations are different. At point A, we had more of Y and less of X, while on point B, we have more of X and less of Y. Why? For one commodity's production, we have to sacrifice another production of another commodity. So, to understand this basic idea, we have to understand the concept of PPC. So this is about the maximum attainable output combinations. Then we also talk about fixed resources. We don't want to complicate things right now. So we have a simplistic idea that there is one economy, the goods are two that are being produced, and the resources which are utilized for production of these two goods are also fixed in nature. And the technology also is given in constant, meaning there's no change in technology which is happening currently. So these three things will constitute your production possibility curve, which would look something like this. Now, why does it look something like this? That's something to understand with economic logic. First, let's understand why does PPC exists at all? Why do we have to understand this concept? Because resources are limited. We all know resources are limited. In the previous slide, we said that there are given fixed resources. Of course, this is an assumption, but we know for a fact that resources are not unlimited. Resources are eventually limited. If we talk about natural resources, all the natural resources like land, water, minerals, metals, metallic minerals, all of these are limited in nature. Fossil fuels. Now, we have to understand that for satisfying the unlimited wants and desires of humans, and because the population keeps on increasing year after year for all the economies of the world. So for such changing and increasing population, and to adjust with their demands and desires and wants and needs, we have to understand that how we could utilize the same fixed resources to satisfy these changing wants. Yes, 20-30 years ago, the human beings' desires were something else. Today, they are something else. In the year 2000, people were satisfied with their laptops. But today, where we have an array of smartphones which actually work like laptops, people are really not interested anymore in laptops. They are more interested in smaller versions or crunched versions of laptops, mini laptops or smart tops. All of these are more in market. Why? Because that's what is the demand about. So the changing demand and the changing needs and desires of human beings would lead to a new shift or a new type of PPC that would appear, and where we will understand how these given resources could be utilized for producing these unlimited desires and unlimited wants of humans, right? If resources were unlimited, imagine that if the resources were unlimited, PPC would have not existed at all. Yes, because when there is no problem of scarcity, then why do we learn even economics? But because we have the problem of scarcity, the problem of choice, the choices that we make tend to lead to the consumer behavior that we showcase, and that's why we require the understanding of PPC, right? So that's what we learn with the amount of resources. Now let's learn the next thing, which is the 3 zones on PPC. This is the most important part which usually appears in all the different types of economics examinations, whether you are giving a class 11th or 12th standard board examination, or it's something related to your undergraduation and post-graduation economics examination, or even in UGC NET exam. You will find this question is a very basic conceptual question, and you need to understand what are the 3 important zones in the PPC. So you have on the curve, inside the curve, and outside the curve. Okay, so let's understand. Now here, let's look at the diagram and let's understand. Let's say that there are 3 zones. There is inside, on, and outside. Okay, outside, A, B and C. Now inside the curve means what? That when we had the PPC where we had the combinations of good X and good Y, still if the economy is somewhere on point A, it means that they are underemploying the resources. Right? This talks about underemployment of resources, unemployment of resources. There are resources, but you have not utilized it. Otherwise, you would have a point on the PPC curve. So this is underemployment of resources. Then the next point on this PPC curve is point B. Now, what does point B showcase? Like we understood that all the points over the PPC curve showcase the efficient combination of these two goods that are produced within an economy with the given resources, right? So this point produces efficient output. Okay, efficient output, efficiency, productivity. Point B on the PPC curve means that the economy is having efficient outcomes. And then the third point over here is point C. Point C is outside the PPC. It's not inside, it's not over the PPC, it's outside the PPC. Now what does this mean? Usually in books you will find that this point means that this is unattainable. Okay? Unattainable. Cannot be attained by the economy. But this is an incomplete answer. You should note that this outside point on the PPC curve is unattainable right now. Okay? Unattainable now. But in the coming future, when the economy will grow, there will be growth in the economy, means there will be growth in technology, there will be growth in human capital, there will be growth in physical capital, the resources will also adopt efficiency. Because of all of these things, what will happen? There will be a shift of curve towards right hand side, and that shift would mean that now the point might come over the PPC. So which means that any point which is outside the PPC will be unattainable right now. But with the growth in the economy, it would be achieved, or it could be achieved later, right? So this is something that would complete your answer. Now let's understand why is PPC concave to the origin. Till now we have understood what exactly the production possibility curve showcases. It showcases the best combination of two goods which are produced in an economy. Now, why is the shape of this PPC concave to the origin? And when we say concave to the origin, we mean that it looks something like this. If this is PPC, why is this concave to the origin? Okay, why is it not like this? So, PPC curve is concave to the origin because of two things, okay? Firstly, all resources are not equally efficient, and as production shifts, less suitable resources are used. Let us take a simple example to understand this. Firstly, the reason why PPC is concave to the origin is because of the increasing opportunity cost. Okay, increasing opportunity cost. What does it mean? It means that as more and more shift happens towards a certain commodity which has to be produced, there is more and more amount of units which have to be sacrificed. Okay, for example, there is commodity X, good X, and good Y, right? So in order to produce more of good X, gradually we have to sacrifice more and more units of good Y, and that's why we say that there is increasing opportunity cost. And because of this increasing opportunity cost, the curve of PPC is concave to the origin. That's the reason number one why it is concave to the origin. Now you would say, but ma'am, still we are not completely understanding why still it is concave to the origin. So let's understand it with a simple example. Let's say that there is an agricultural farmer who has a piece of land. Okay, so let's say that this is a piece of land that the agricultural farmer has. Okay, now on this piece of land, he says that I want to produce two goods, two crops. Okay, I'm gonna produce rice, I'm gonna produce wheat. Okay, on the same piece of land, he wishes to produce both of these goods. Okay, now let's say that initially he starts producing wheat, okay, and also rice. So let's say he divides his piece of land that, okay, on the green portion of the piece of land, I'm going to produce wheat, and on the orange remaining portion, I'm going to produce rice. Okay, that's what the farmer says. Now, he says that, okay, the green portion is actually suitable for producing wheat, while the orange portion is more suitable for producing rice, because one piece of land cannot have all the qualities that are sufficient or adequate for producing both the type of crops. You all know that rice would require more water with respect to if we are producing wheat, right? So both of these crops are different in nature, and which is why one piece of land cannot substantiate or adequately provide all the nutrients and all the qualities of a soil in that single piece of land. Now, because of that, initially the wheat and rice are produced in their designated areas. But now what happens? Let's say wheat is produced as good X and rice is produced as good Y. Now he says that probably the climate is not suitable for rice anymore, so I'm going to produce more amount of wheat. Now what will happen? The farmer will have to produce wheat on those pieces of land also which was better for rice, which was better cultivated soil for rice. So what will happen now? Gradually, for producing more amounts of wheat, the agricultural farmer will have to utilize those resources, those pieces of land and soil which are not really adequately suitable for wheat. And which is why we say that all resources are not equally efficient, and as production has shifted from rice to wheat, less suitable resources are being used. Okay, because of all of these three conditions, the PPC is concave to the origin. So whenever you write answers, whether you are in school or whether you're in college, graduate level, postgraduate level, or you're preparing for an exam, basic fundamental conceptual knowledge is very, very important of why the curve is in a certain position. Okay, so that's why the PPC is concave to the origin. Now, let's understand the curve's movement and shift in the PPC. So, whenever there is a movement along the PPC meaning that we are just moving our position, let's say from point A to point B to point C to point D. So this is what these pointers are, what? From point A to B, B to C. This is what this is called as movement. This is movement along the PPC curve. And why does it happen? Because of change in the allocation of resources. Like we just saw in the example, that when we started cultivating more amount of wheat, the resources were shifted. So allocation of resources, when changes, it causes movement along the same curve. However, when there is a shift, there are two ways in which the curve can shift. It can either shift inside or it can shift outside. Okay, when does the curve shift outwards? Let's say the curve has shifted on this outwards. Why has the curve shifted outwards? When there is economic growth, when there is technological advancement, economic growth, income growth, whenever there is prosperity and growth and some kind of production, new change has happened in the economy, at that time we'll say that the PPC will shift towards right, or there will be an outward shift. On the other hand, when do we say that there is going to be an inward shift? When there is a war, disaster, resource loss, meaning that the whole curve will shift backwards or inwards or towards the left. Why? Because of a certain economic loss, maybe some kind of economic political instability, some kind of war or calamity, because of which the GDP, the growth rate, everything is going down in the economy. At that time, the PPC will shift inwards, right? So that's what is the difference between movement and shift in the PPC. Now, how do we apply PPC in India? So now, if you just want to understand how the PPC shifts in the different cases with respect to India, let's understand through 3 cases, okay? Let's say there is huge amount of educational and skill development happening in India. You all know that there is so many policies which are there for education. There's NEP, then there are vocational education related programs which are being launched. Because of all of this thing, what will happen? There will be an outward shift in the PPC of India. Why? Because now we are going to have a better and a bigger growth trajectory, right? What happens when there is infrastructure and investment? What is happening in terms of foreign exchange reserves? What is happening in terms of the huge industrialization 2.0 which is happening towards India, investment which is happening in India? Higher productive capacity. When the productive capacity will increase, when investment increases, productive capacity increases, which increases the efficiency, which leads to growth, right? And that again makes an outward shift in the PPC. Then third, if for example we look at the news of inequality, poverty, unemployment, which probably is huge, okay? If we say that the database for our country has a huge amount of unemployment, huge amount of inequality, huge amount of poverty, these are leakages in the economic structure, these are leakages in the social structure, these are problems. And whenever we say problems with respect to any economy, then the PPC would shift inwards, okay? So I have just told you how you have to locate the PPC for our economy with the current news, with whatever news that you're reading. Make sure that you're also revising the microeconomics concepts, these basic concepts, and you are linking them into each other. Usually students think that microeconomics concepts are just theoretical and principle based and they don't have any relation to the current affairs, but it's absolutely wrong, because only when you will understand the unit economics, you'll be able to understand the aggregate level occurrences, and that's how they are linked together, okay? So that's how you link both of these things. So finally, for this concept, what all did we cover? We talked about how PPC is a matter of choice. Whenever there is scarcity, whenever there is a concept of opportunity cost, or we have to provide efficient outcomes, or we require to understand growth, we talk about PPC. I hope that this concept of production possibility curve or production possibility frontier is now very clear to you all. Make sure that you mention your most important takeaway from this particular lesson in the comment section below. Till then, stay tuned to Ecoholics.